So today is a very sad day for a lot of people who have grew up with the Xbox 360. Today is the day, and as I'm saying this, I think there's a few hours left to try and get some games, Xbox arcade games, whatever. Now, you can buy them online. You can buy them, just put in Google Xbox 360 Marketplace, and you can buy them without even owning a 360, just to future-proof yourself if you do ever get a 360. Now, obviously, there are a lot of games. I'm not going to mention that many games that you can get because, again, some of them aren't really on sale and they're still quite a lot of money. And do remember, only get the games that you can get that are only available digitally. You can buy disc games pretty cheap of a lot of games on 360. Don't fall for it and go and buy, unless you really want it digitally and it's a good deal, then go ahead and get it. However, most of the time you can get discs pretty cheap for games, cheaper than what they will end up being on the Xbox store. Just so everybody doesn't go and, oh, that game's going to... A lot of games as well are backwards compatible. So do remember that. Obviously, this is a very sad day. They announced this, I think, at the beginning of the year, not far off the beginning of the year, that they were going to shut the store. Now, a lot of people are getting a little confused with this, with servers. They haven't mentioned they're closing the servers as of yet, although it hasn't been announced. It's just they're closing the Xbox store, meaning you will not be able to purchase anything from the Xbox store. However, anything you do purchase, you will still be able to own, which is a really good thing. So if you do want to, again, get a game that is only available digitally, that you can't get the disc version or anything, do get it. Don't fall for it and buy the digital version and end up paying more than the disc. And sadly, some games are delisted. Left 4 Dead 2, I'm sure a lot of people would have loved to get that. It's delisted. They delisted that quite a while ago now. So unfortunately, you can't really get that. There are some games as well that are delisted. That is a very unfortunate thing too. So I guess it's just it. I would have thought like maybe Xbox or something would have done or the developers maybe would have done a last sale on some of these games. Like Valve, I don't know. Actually, I don't know whose fault it was to delist Left 4 Dead. But I thought they would have just put it up as like a last sort of thing because the thing's closing down. However, you can still get the disc version of it for pretty cheap. So you're not really out of wonder there when it comes to that sort of stuff. However, this is the frequently asked questions about the Xbox thing. The Xbox 360 store and Xbox 360 Marketplace. This is the website version where you can actually get Marketplace. .xbox.com will retire on the July the 29th, 2024. Now, they haven't specified what time, so who knows exactly what time? Is it the end of the day? Is it when is it the midnight? I don't exactly know when exactly this store is going to close down. Some people have said 5 p.m. Pacific. I don't exactly know when it's going to close down. So do be prepared, and I'd say try to get a few games before you really can. They haven't announced the time, which is really weird. So I'm gonna guess it's the end of the day. That's the only thing that makes sense of why. If they don't announce the time, then it must mean midnight or the end of the 29th. If it doesn't mean that, then I don't exactly know. If it is 5 p.m. PT, I think that is at the end of the day. So you have, I think, a full day to get games. But I'm not exactly sure how long's left of this. We could have a few hours left or what. So this is what the Xbox website does say about it. For more information on what that means, how to continue playing your previous... and how to continue, refer to frequently asked questions. About the store retirement. Beginning on July the 29th, we will no longer support the Xbox 360 store or the Xbox 360 Marketplace website. Until this date, purchases made in the Xbox 360 store and the Xbox 360 marketplace will continue to be supported. This will not impact how the community currently owns games on the 360 via backwards compatibility. Players will be able to continue to download and play games they already own on the Xbox 360 or Xbox One console via backwards compatibility. So I don't think this affects any backwards compatibility games. However, I'm not entirely too sure on that. No, you'll still be able to play multiplayer as usual on previous downloaded games and games owned on disc. Online services per game will vary based on publisher. Yeah, that's kind of understandable. A lot of publishers are still supporting online games, which is actually very much surprising. Although I'm going to guess in the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of the Xbox 360 games aren't going to be online. I don't think many Halos are actually online as well on the 360, unless they're, say, backwards compatibility. But I think a lot of them have been shut down, which is a sad sight to see. But hey, it's inevitable. That's kind of what happens, unfortunately. These type of things shut down, and developers, again, they don't support servers very long after that. And a lot of people are left in the dark with the games they've got. So enjoy the games while you've got them. Because, again, who knows how long you'll keep them. Do I need to re-download all my content again before the Xbox 360? No, you can continue to play discs or re-download previous purchased games on your 360, even after the store closes in July 2024. To download your games previously purchased on Xbox, follow the steps and it'll pretty much just allow you to download. Playing your games after the... backwards compatibility, this is why I'm going to... yes, digitally owned discs based backwards compatibility games will continue to play as we plan to support original and 360 backwards compatible games on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X part of. Where do I find, obviously, does the export close? All right, game availability can always vary based on region. We always recommend, we do not intend to release more backwards compatibility games moving forward. Okay, so does that mean future Xboxes will have backwards compatibility? So, okay, I kind of expected that. I think there is quite a lot of games backwards compatible. I don't exactly know how many down to the number, but there is quite a lot. Unfortunately, not every one of them is backwards compatible. That's understandable. Sometimes they may be just not able to get in contact with the developers and kind of ask them if they want their game backwards compatible. And it can be unfortunate, stuff like that, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's a sad day, very sad day for Xbox 360, a console that a lot of people loved. Now, again, I kind of suspect it. It's obvious. Things like this don't last forever, especially when it's online. This is why I don't like online stuff. Now, I have purchased a few games, obviously, a few games that you cannot get on disc. Either that or they were a better deal than what they would be costing on disc. But yeah, I've Xbox arcade games mainly. I've purchased stuff like that. However, it is a sad day. It is. You know, a lot of people have, put their time into the 360. And it's a great console. It is a great console. Now, again, this won't affect anything else. It just affects the ability to purchase games on the 360, which also probably means that games on disc will probably end up going up in price. So if I was you, I'd try and get a few games on disc that you really want before the price ends up going up. Because I do remember when they put the Left 4 Dead got delisted, the price of the actual disc games went up quite a fair bit. They're not as expensive as they were, but they went up quite a fair bit. So if I was you, I would definitely get the games you really want on disc before this actually shuts down, because some of these games, they're going to put the prices up of the disc games, because that's just how things work. They you want this game, you can't buy it digitally anymore, so you got to do this. So yes, do remember that. If you are thinking of getting some disc games, buy them now for the 360 because people may end up putting the price up of some of them. But yeah, this is a sad time. Now, I don't know about PlayStation. I don't know when they're actually going to take the online store off. Their store still very much runs, although it's very bad and very slow and very clunky. And the search menu, yes, if you remember the search menu on the PS3, it's like this sort of thing. You have to select an individual letter and try. It's an awful search. I don't know what on earth they were doing with it. But yeah, the PlayStation 3 store is still available. There is no announcement yet to take it offline. And I don't know if they are going to take it offline. I'd be surprised if they keep it online for a few more years, to be honest with you. But hey, who knows? Who really knows if they're going to take it offline again? I don't know. But yeah, it's a very slow thing. Again, I'm not really surprised these consoles are slow. It's they're getting on now. They're getting on. The Xbox 360 is getting on. It's a console that released a long time ago. Obviously, there's the Xbox. I have the Xbox, I think, Slim. I did change it. I did have the original white one, and I still do have that somewhere. The only thing I think it needs is a new disk drive. I'm going to put some new thermal paste on it and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, do remember you're changing your thermal paste on your 360 as well, because I think they had problems with thermal paste as well. So yeah, it is a sad day, and hopefully they don't shut down the PlayStation 3 store, because I still need to get some games on there as well. But yeah, it is one of them things. Again, developers, manufacturers, they turn stuff offline, they turn the servers offline, they unsupport a lot of things because either they cost too much money to run or they're just sapping money. And yeah, it's unfortunately how it happens. And again, a lot of people love the 360. Them taking this off, it's not the end of the 360. I'm sure a lot of people are still going to continue enjoying the games, although their library may be a little bit limited because of this. However, I do recommend you searching through and just getting a few games. Bearing in mind, this actually affects everything as well. So gamer profiles, avatars, everything like that will be affected. So if you are thinking of getting something for your Xbox avatar to make it look cool, I do recommend you actually doing it now and purchasing it now before it ends up going. Making a few purchases before a lot of this stuff ends up going as well. It's a sad day to see a lot of like the avatar stuff go as well. I know that's one big thing that I loved about the Xbox 360 was the avatar. You could create your own like sort of 3D sort of figure, action sort of figure, and it would like move around when you're on the dashboard. No, I think they still support that on the Xbox Series X. You can actually still use it. However, it seems to be very limited. However, yes, you can still do that and buy stuff through the 360 and create your avatar. However, for the avatars and stuff like that, I do recommend getting some of your favorite avatars before they end up going, because I don't see them lasting very long, and sticker packs as well. So make sure you buy a lot of this stuff. Don't go crazy, but pick some of the stuff you actually want before this stuff goes, because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no getting it back. Microsoft support won't help you on this situation. But yeah, I'm very happy I've got some games. I think I got Arkham City Imposters as well, which I'm really happy about. I got that again. I did lose it, but although they was delisted, that game, I'm pretty sure, and they've relisted it. So I don't know if there was a problem with it. I'm not too sure. But you can buy Arkham City Imposters as an Xbox arcade game, I think. So I do recommend you actually getting that game if you really love stuff like that. But yeah, it is a sad day. It just. I know it's not like a big part of the Xbox. Obviously, it's just the you're not able to purchase things online, but that's only the beginning of the end of the Xbox 360. It is a sad time. I'm glad they added backwards compatible. I hope the next Xbox in the future, if they do, supports like backwards compatible games and stuff like that. I think that's one of the best things Microsoft has done. That's a redeeming factor for me anyway. Yeah, they didn't start off really good, but the backwards compatibility really made me happy with Xbox. Obviously, not every game is going to be... I'm not mad at them for that. Things happen, whether that's because they can't get the permission from the developers to do it or the game just doesn't run very well. I don't know. There's probably some problem, or it's just a matter of... I remember you used to have to vote for backwards compatibility games. Like I remember people would have to vote for, say, if they wanted to have Call of Duty Black Ops. I think it was one of them was Black Ops 1, and people had to vote. I think it had like over 100,000 votes. You could go on the website and you could, vote for which game you actually wanted to come to backwards compatibility early. And then I think in the end they just decided to release them all over a span of a few years to a few months to years. But the Xbox Store, especially Xbox Arcade and Xbox Indie games as well. Xbox Arcade was a huge thing. Like Doritos Crash Course, you can still get that game. There was Doritos Crash Course 2, but I think they delisted that. But Doritos Crash Course 1 was just called Doritos Crash Course. It is currently free. I do recommend you getting it. It's an absolutely fun game. It's a really, really fun game. And it's an enjoyable game. I do remember playing that as a kid. There's a lot of... I love the Xbox Arcade. There was a lot of cool games within Xbox Arcade. And then there was Xbox... I think Xbox Arcade was like an early release thing, was it? I can't remember. But a lot of people liked it. And then there was Xbox Indie Games, which I think was an early release thing as well, which would be supportive of indie developers. So like there were a lot of indie developers that actually used Xbox Indie games. So, that would help a lot of indie games push. There was Castle Miner, which actually was under indie games, which is really cool as well. There are a lot of games, unfortunately, that have either been delisted over the few years and are just completely taken down from the Xbox 360 store and you can't buy them anymore. That is the reality of some things, whether that's because of licensing problems or the developer just doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. Although I'm guessing it's probably to do with licensing issues. Unfortunately, a lot of these games are licensed on different things, and music and all sorts of stuff. And after a few years, them licensings obviously run out, and eventually the game, they don't want to get sued or anything for still selling something with the license like that, so they completely cancel a license, or they delist the game, or they sell it off quickly, or say, guys, buy this game before this license ends, and they sell it for like a discount like Microsoft is doing with Forza Horizon 4. That'll be delisted as well. But yeah, they sell it off for really cheap, and that's it. That's how it's done. But yeah, it's a sad reality, this. Remember, you can still play online as of now. I don't know how long that will last for. I'm guessing it'll last for a while because a lot of the backwards compatibility games take advantage of the Xbox 360 Live servers and the backwards compatibility. So I'm guessing that runs through the same thing as well. It's just one of them things. It's bound to happen. And it's an unfortunate thing. But I do recommend, if you can, if you've got a bit of money, bit of pocket change or that, get a few cheap games on Xbox Arcade, and you'll have fun. Even if you don't have a 360 now, you can still purchase them just go on Google and type in Xbox 360 Marketplace, and you'll be taken to the website, and then you can scroll through games. that you want, and you can just purchase them through there, and they will be available on your Xbox account. And then when you use them through the 360, you'll be able to download them through your game history or your purchase history, which is pretty cool. So do remember that. If you don't have a 360 at the moment, you can still get some classic games if you do have a Xbox account. But yeah, it's a sad day. Hopefully you get the games you do want digitally. And yeah, hopefully they don't do this to the PlayStation Store yet. But hopefully that doesn't happen for a while. Because that will be pretty sad as well. That's another part of my childhood, the PS3. Both the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Incredible consoles. A generation that... probably one of the greatest gaming generations I think we've seen. Especially with online gaming as well. Wow. The generation was... it's unmatched. The PS4 and the Xbox generation, they were pretty good. The Xbox Series X and PS5 generation, not so good. Obviously, the PS2 and Xbox Original, they were great generations, but my forever generation will have to be the Xbox 360 and the PS3. They were incredible consoles. They did incredible things, and you could connect to people all around the world. And play with your friends, even if they were halfway across the globe. Yeah, the servers weren't great. Obviously, you were playing on different servers. One of you were probably playing on a Russian server, and you were playing on this, But it still made you connect with people around the world that you probably wouldn't have been able to do. So, I've got to give very much respect for Xbox on that. They did. Actually, I think they did have the first, proper... online. Obviously, the PS2 was able to play online, but it wasn't an online like it was on Xbox. The Xbox would have the actual, you could have your Xbox account. Xbox has had a lot of things over the years. They've done a lot of good things there. I think they were the first to add achievements, I think. And achievements were a huge thing on Xbox. An absolute big thing. The gamer score. I remember people used to brag about that. My friends used to brag about that as well. Oh, I got a higher gamer score than you, because they were achievement hunters, and I that's what I like about Xbox. I know Xbox has got a lot of hate over the past year, and they've done a lot of stupid stuff. Yeah, they have. Let's not deny that. Microsoft has done some incredibly stupid things with Xbox. By not answering questions properly and just disrespecting the community. However, I will always respect and thank Microsoft for making one of my best favorite consoles, the 360, an incredible console. It didn't do there was Red Ring of Death, but the thing that I think they recalled a lot of them as well, Red Ring of Death. So I think they actually gave warranties out for them, and you could take them into the store and get them replaced, I think. But yeah, it was a sad day. It's a sad day to mark, 29th. But I think you've got until the end of the day or the end of the 29th to purchase the games you want. So you got some time left. I don't exactly know the time, but I'm presuming it's till the end of the 29th because that makes sense. They haven't mentioned a time, so if so, they would have probably mentioned a time. So yeah, I do recommend you getting some of the games you actually want to play. And do remember, don't irresponsibly purchase stuff as well. But yeah, enjoy yourself. Get some games you actually want. Don't just get some free games as well. There is a lot of free games on the Xbox Arcade list as well. But yeah, it's one of them. It's a sad thing. It's a sad day for Xbox and a lot of gamers.